Welcome back to the Krown crypto channel. Wishing you a happy early start to this Tuesday morning here as we get prepared to follow up on the analysis, the same analysis thread that we've been following up on for the past couple weeks here, now starting to come to fruition, of which I do believe today is actually a very, very important day as a lot of things have started to get into motion. So I do believe that this is more or less what we essentially have been waiting for. And the next about 2 to 3 week period here is going to be probably a lot more interesting than the last 2 week period. Anyways, other than that, I want to once again humbly request that if you do find this content valuable, please do consider liking the video and also hitting the old bell icon right there, as it'll notify you when new videos drop as well. All right, sweet. Let's just jump right into it, starting off right in over here with the daily time frame chart. A few easy things to start off right off the bat, and that would be daily regular bullish evidence come off this last low. Potential right here, but will be confirmed upon tonight's closure, basically anywhere here or higher if that does indeed happen. Very likely setting up Bitcoin for an extension of this move if, again, that does get confirmed. That is going to be in conjunction with the daily jewel also getting a secondary signal right here as well, which is typically the good one actually, where you do see it kind of bounce off of that slower moving oscillator and then lift off with that light blue color. That would be the second confirmation of that particular setup. And of course, we want to see a DMI support that as well, but one thing before the next. And generally speaking, that would be indicative that we do see this rally continue, assuming that things close basically around here by the end of tonight. So things are in motion right now. Basically, if you're bullish, it's kind of like last week for the bears, essentially. Like last week for the bears, ball was in their court. If they were going to push it, it was very like the end of the end of the week. Now probability starting to favor the Boulahs, and balls in the Boulahs court as far as I'm concerned. All right, sweet. So we've gone through that. I also wanted to follow up on the Gaussian channel over here as well. As you can see that Bitcoin essentially reclaiming the mean band as it seems right now, after teeter-tottering around it for, nearly, this is like, going on about two weeks straight, I'd say, at this $27,000 or so level pivot. Assuming that Bitcoin basically closes anywhere above it, still do think that this rally, again, continues, maybe even all the way to the top side of the Gaussian channel. As we'll look at a little bit later, there are several confluential things that do suggest that is a not so distant target, assuming that closures are had in, around here or above here by the end of today's daily closure. But for right now, so far, so good. And of course, on spot price action, it's just bouncing off the bottom side of it, showing the mean band right around low $28,000 territory versus CME, which shows the top side at about 28,800. So somewhere between low to upper 28s is kind of where I'd be looking for, assuming that these things do come to fruition. Now, I'll do this one just for our Twitter manager, but I wanted to test this one out as a bit of an engagement tool actually, and in this case we actually do have a bit of we got one of those fucking kindergarten patterns going on right here. We got hey, I can't believe I'm about to do this. No, it's not that bad, but we do have something resembling what would be a falling channel, a falling wedge, sorry, not a falling channel, but a falling wedge in this case, which do have a higher probability breakout to the upside versus the downside, not by a whole hell of a lot. And I do see these ones actually fail rather often, but just for engagement purposes right here, you can see that Bitcoin kind of playing within it for the past, basically coming off the highs right there, for the past month or so now, or about a little over a month now, with the top side coming in around about that 28,200 or so number. So if you recall, that was around the mean band on the Gaussian channel for CME, and of course, if this does actually bust on through to the upside, there is an implied target to be made based upon this, which we could apply right now, which would be pointed up basically around the current highs of this rally. $31,000 or so would be the technical target based upon that. Again, these are certainly not my favorite, nor definitely not first way of doing things, but when it lines up with other things, it does make for a good piece of engagement. It's really, really interesting. Just watch on Twitter. Something like this will get a lot of engagement and a lot of and a lot of views and whatnot, whereas something more statistically based typically doesn't actually, which is just, I don't know, maybe that just speaks to the interest within this market. I don't know. Anyways, so we've gone through that. I do want to once again go over the HPGR ranges right in over here. I just think that the 4-hour and the 12-hour time frame accurately summarize this. It really hasn't changed, but just so that we continue to keep this this ongoing analysis consistent here, we can see that the top side coming in around 27,700. versus the bottom side now at about 26,300. Yeah, I do think that, losing 26.5 would probably be bad enough for me to switch on to, I wouldn't say like mega bearish, but I'd be looking for significant moves to the downside still. Just below 25,000 bucks would be kind of the area of interest that I'd be looking at next. But for right now, a nice bounce off this region, and so far so good. And if we can see it reclaim the median of this, which is again 27,700, at that point, very likely looking at moves closer to 29. So again, we see another thing matched up with the top side of the Gaussian channel on the spot price action, the CME. I believe it was CME. Might need to go back and check it. But one of the top sides, I believe it was either spot or CME right there. Anyways, yes, we've gone through that. Let's now go through stochastic momentum, see where the pivots are currently aligned with right now. 2-day time frame on CME actually be popping up freshly with any sort of a closure above 26,700. Currently trading, about $700 above that number right now, so not bad. But another day left to go to closure. Daily time frame, we can see shows upside momentum as long as Bitcoin's above 27,100 or so. So that would be the kind of major number to beat for today. 12-hour time frame is going to be showing upside as long as Bitcoin's above 26.9. Okay, so we see that move, that number now moving a little bit downwards, which is a good sign for the laws, typically speaking. 6-hour time frame showing upside momentum as long as Bitcoin's above 26.7. Same thing right here. 4-hour time frame showing upside momentum as long as Bitcoin's above 26,950, and hourly is going to be showing upside above 27,000. So I would, I'd kind of round off here and go with the conservative estimate of this and just say 27,000 bucks. Going to be a nice pivot for the short term on Bitcoin laws, as long as Bitcoin's above there. Risk remains the upside. So we are going to see, things actually switch around in favor of the laws, as we did say coming into the end of the last week. If you don't see a continuation by Monday, probability is going to shift around, and now it's the laws game as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, so with all of that said, one of the big reasons why I just repeated that last piece is due to the two-day time frame right here, which updated today. So we got a new closure upon this one, and it is the volatility versus stochastic momentum signature, of course. Again, volatility getting below 10 percentile or more, and coupled up with the direction of the stochastic sort of has led towards an average move upon the expansion phase, somewhere around about 27% on average over the course of 19 days on average. Stochastic also has been correcting it in the direction about 81.5% of the time. So as of right now, it is pointed to the upside. And will be remaining with upside momentum on the 2-day time frame for spot price action as long as Bitcoin's above 26,750. Very fucking important number right there. So that is to say, as long as Bitcoin's above this number right here, probabilities favor the laws. It's actually for the long side, it's a little bit less than 27%, a little bit less than 81.5% on the direction of the stochastic oscillator. But again, when you're talking about like upper 70s, that's pretty high probability in favor of that. Doesn't mean it's a certainty. Obviously, we do see these fail from time to time. We have actually seen pretty much all of them work out over the past year, which is concerning because, you would be expecting a failure like relatively soon. But okay, I do see one failure right here. So that's good. But ultimately, again, going off of this, that would suggest that upside, again, more likely. And, on the lower end, if we were to make a first standard deviation analysis of this, we can see that, standard deviation of about 9, that gives us like upper teens to mid 30s basically, is kind of where we expect the bulk of this move to come in around. Upper teens would put Bitcoin basically a little bit above the current high. The average at about 27% would put Bitcoin closer to 34,000 bucks. And on the upper end, if Bitcoin really goes for it, then you're looking at deep 30s right there. But for right now, as long as Bitcoin's above that pivot, yes, we would be expecting upside is more likely, and over the next 3 weeks as we do start to witness expansion right here. So I'm just looking at my calendar right now. What would 3 weeks look like? Yeah, puts us into the second week of June actually, as June apparently starts next Friday, which is cool, I guess. I don't know, it's like cool, super cool, bro. Time continues to go. Anyways, you get my point. What would failure on this essentially look like? Back below 26.6 or 26.5 on a daily or 2-day time frame, respectively. Anyways, and then also another setup that, you know, it's still viable. It's just there hasn't really been much to update on. Was of course the 12-hour Joule light setup over here, where we did see that the 12-hour Joule light went below 40 and then turned white on the first tick right here, and that was coupled with PMARP being below 50, which did initiate this script to suggest that there is a nice entry right there. And according to the backtester, over the past 68 total closed trades, 69% of these have had a nice upside move over the course of about an average of 21 bars. Now, this did fire off officially on the 13th, so 21 bars actually was yesterday. So it certainly is starting to be a bit more of an outlier here. We would have expected this to really have taken legs up if it was going to play out a little bit sooner. So I would say that that's a bit of a counterpoint right here. You also notice that these numbers actually shifted around a bit as well. I just changed the some of the parameters just to see if I could make it a little bit better. Didn't really work out that way, actually. Although, I mean, the net profit did go up, but percent profitable did go down a little bit. Preferences, obviously, but more iterations included, which I typically do like. It just makes you feel better about it. Anyways, yes, so in this case, is it still viable? Yes. However, to be fair, the average number of bars in the winning trades is 15. Like that's well past now. So if I did want to create a little bit of a counter argument, I'd say, hey, we would have really expected this one to have taken off days ago, actually, if it was going to play out. But to be fair, it has not been invalidated just yet. Below 26.6, again, on a closing basis, invalidated. But the average winning trade at about 8%. Let's see where that would put Bitcoin. Because I mean, basically just traded right around that entry for like 10 days. Yeah, 26.7 or so was the was that entry. 8% would put Bitcoin 28,800, which I believe again was around the top side of the Gaussian channel on one of those, I believe on CME. So we see a lot of things, kind of align with that region. You can see the, sort of like the downstream of effects, the domino of effects here, because if that plays out, we fill a few of those things, bullish divergence, daily Joule, blah, 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 blah. And then you start to look at the 2-day time frame over here, and this setup starts to take over as well. And then you got your falling pizza resolving to the upside. And well, at that point, mid $30,000 territory is, once again, it's not just a topic, but it's like a likelihood. So, it looks to me like the BULAs have kind of held here for what, for as long as we would have liked to have seen, for, probabilities to turn in their favor. And now over this next, maybe let's say like a 10-day period, 5 to 10-day period, maybe, that's what to watch for, at least in my opinion. Anyways, I think that's a good place for me to be leaving off on this particular video. I did forget to mention the Bybit promotion going on. They got 0% on maker fees for derivative contract orders, blah, 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 blah. You already know this. But more importantly, they do have their Apex exchange, which is a decentralized exchange, which you may or may not be interested in. Of course, I know a lot of people are concerned about KYC and, maybe or maybe not that is valuable to you. I don't know. That's a decision for you to be making. But there is an affiliate link in the description below that will award you 5% off of your trading fees for the lifetime of your account. And I suspect that is a good place to be leaving off. So I'd like to wish you the best as always. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.